Hi, I'm Becky Brune, and I make videos about quilting, classic literature adaptations, baking, and creative life. Okay, let's figure out what these are and label them. Okay, this one is called Hartfield. Hartfield, which of course is the town. No, Hartfield is their home, isn't it? Highbury is the town. Oh geez, I'm gonna have to look that up. It is so cold in Seattle right now. My fingers are just don't want to work. Hartfield. This is Highbury. I know that one. It's very, very cute. I have it in another color as well. This one, hang on, let me make sure. Yes. This one is called Churchill. So Frank Churchill, as we know, was Emma's potential love interest. And his dad was married to Emma's governess, I guess, which was the inciting incident of the book, in my opinion, which I will give in more detail on a different video. I don't know exactly what that motif is. A fruit that's been cut open, a little bauble that hangs from a tree, but it's assigned Churchill. This one, this one just keeps saying navy, which I think is the color, not the name of the pattern. There was no navy element in Emma, was there? No one went off into the navy, no. So I'm not sure. I'm going to go ahead and write navy, but that annoys me. I mean, Jane Austen had brothers who were in the Navy, of course, but I really do think that that's just the color of the fabric. This one is called Fairfax, which, as we know, Jane Fairfax, the girl that Emma was so jealous of. And really, the impetus in the novel for, I'm going to say, almost every bad thing that Emma did, almost every selfish thing that Emma did. Not every. Fairfax. This one is called Martin, which that was, oh gosh, what was his first name? Mr. Martin was the love interest of Harriet, the farmer, the gentleman farmer who Emma said was not good enough for Harriet. Martin. Very selfish. Martin. This is Highbury again, just in a different colorway. This one is Weston. And Weston was Frank Churchill's dad. And Mr. Weston had married Emma's governess. I think I already talked about that. Maybe it was around Churchill, though. Frank Churchill. Frank Churchill's dad. I liked that character a lot. This is called Dixon. Ooh. Do you remember the Dixons? Jane Fairfax lived with a family who the dad had known her dad. And they had a daughter about her age. And the daughter ends up marrying Dixon, Mr. Dixon. Never seen, always talked about. Emma's imagination, her romantic imagination, runs away with her about the Dixons. Dixon. Oh, this is that thing that they call navy again, but it's not. This one is not navy. They're going to probably call it green. They do. They call it just green. They didn't name this one then. That's okay. So this one has no name. It's not assigned. I'm going to write no name. I'm not going to write green. We can see it's green. This is pretty. Is this that same? Hartfield. Yeah, those are the same, just different colors. have enough fingers. And here is Highbury again. This is Hughes. 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 I am drawing a blank on who is Hughes. Hughes. I'm going to just do a little search here. They want to give me Hughes Grant. Mrs. Hughes is a resident of Highbury who attends the ball at the Crown Inn where she and her husband, Dr. Hughes, speak to Miss Bates. Pivotal character. Glad we have a fabric named after her. Hughes. Okay. This is that fabric that has no name, and this one, it just shows up in here as yellow. Now, what is this? What is this one? Campbell. Campbell. So Campbell is the name of the family that Dixon married into. So this is Jane Fairfax's, the family that basically adopted her. They didn't adopt her though, they just let her live with them. Campbell. Now I'm just going to say it, these are not fabrics, designs, or colors that I would usually choose to work with. I have an idea of what I'm going to do with these, but I don't get inspired just looking at them. The Coles are a family in town who Emma thinks is below them, below her dad. They were in trade, they made a bunch of money, they moved to a nicer house, but Emma was not falling for it. Cole. This one is Goddard. She's the, I don't know what you call it, headmistress, I guess, of the school that Harriet goes to, and she's also a very good friend of Emma's dad. Goddard. Oh, this is Woodhouse, Emma's last name, and her dad's last name, Obbs. This is actually, I actually kind of like this fabric quite a bit more than the other ones, actually. Woodhouse. This, this is Knightley. I don't know, I mean, I don't want to ruin that story for anybody, but Knightley is a neighbor of theirs, really close friend of her father's and of hers, and his brother married Emma's sister. Knightley. This is Bates. They're very important people in the story. Mrs. Bates is very elderly, and her daughter, Miss Bates, is a spinster who talks incessantly, but is pretty much beloved. Bates. This is the last one, and we do not have one for Mr. Elton yet. I really hope this is for Elton. Mr. Elton. It's Mr. Elton. One of the delightful characters. I was thinking about the other character who's like him, somewhat like him, is in Pride and Prejudice, the Reverend, the minister, their cousin. Gotta look it up. Mr. Collins, that's who he's a little bit like. Collins is way more despicable, to be honest, but Elton is a close second. Elton. So there's one other fabric that is missing from this Emma packet. I'm wondering if you noticed. There's no Harriet. They included Hughes, Goddard, and no Harriet. I noticed that it was missing before I ordered the packet. So I bought separately the Harriet yardage. And this is the Harriet yardage. I think it's very pretty and sweet, like Harriet. So what am I going to do with this fabric? I have a series of videos about Jane Austen novels and how people adapt them for film and television. And I haven't done Emma yet. So I was thinking I might use this fabric to somehow tell the story of Emma. That was my initial idea, but I couldn't really figure out how I would do that. When I bought this packet of fabric, I also bought this girl motif. And I think what I would like to do is make a quilt block for each of Jane Austen's heroines. I don't know like exactly how I'm going to do that, but I am going to start with Emma because I have all this Emma fabric. I may end up using Emma fabric for all of the girls. They're only Emma fabrics because Riley Blake, the manufacturer of this collection, named them. But the fabrics are actually replications of the fabrics that are in a quilt actually made by Jane Austen and her sister. It's apparently on display in the house where Jane Austen lived. It's protected, like you can't touch it, but there's a note on the wall from Jane Austen to her brother asking him to remember to bring them more fabric because they were stuck. And I believe Riley Blake took the fabric patterns from that quilt, and these are the replications of it, which is very cool. That's my plan. I'm going to start with Emma, and I sort of have to choose like which of these girls is Emma? Which of them is Elizabeth Bennet? Which of them is Anne Elliot? Not Anne Elliot. Anne Elliot's the older sister, the bad older sister. No, it's not. Anne Elliot. Clearly I have to brush up. So that is a project that I'm going to be working on, I think next. I have some other projects that have gotten stalled out. One of them is going to have foundation paper piecing. Maybe the video will be of me trying to do foundation paper piecing because I'm kind of excited to get these girls and give them some clothes. If you want to follow along, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye. I guess I should make a Harriet girl too, right?